Centani, and welcome to the Godfather Minute. My name is co-host Alex Robinson.
Centani. My name's Andy Robinson.
Like the start of a commercial for like a cologne or something.
Oh,
Honey for men.
Oh,
You know?
I like it. Yeah,
Like
that's like that should be a Joey Zaza product.
Zaza for men. For men. Anyway, we're talking about minute 139 of The Godfather.
For the men, Zaza for men, for the man who needs respect. No, for the man who doesn't need for the man who's earned your respect.
Wait, you're giving it to someone who's earned your respect?
No, it's the person who wears it is the one who. No, I guess it'd be Zaza for the man who needs no more respect because he has enough of it.
So you only put it on when you have enough respect.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, this is it. I'm as respected as I want to be. Like, where's that cologne? I can't take much more respect.
Zaza.
Anyway, we're talking minute 139.
That's it.
Minute 139.
Alex, minuto.
Minuto.
Numero. 139.
39. That's easier.
You're getting it better, easier every time.
39.
You got it.
All right. Well, in minute Centani 39, Mikey tells everyone that with the upcoming move to Las Vegas, Carlo will be his right-hand man.
Wow. Big news.
While Tom Hagen will still be the Corleone's lawyer, his job as consigliere will be taken over by semi-retired Don.
Mm-hmm.
Will take over. Tom Hagen is a bit petulant about that. So semi-retired Don sits him down and starts to have a little pep talk with him. That's where the minute ends, with the start of his little pep talk.
That must be so insulting for Tom.
Well, the one thing that I think I find this starting from this point forward, I don't quite understand why Tom Hagen is on the outs. I don't understand why he's out.
That's how Mikey wants it.
You get the impression that Tom is learning this information for the first time at this meeting.
It's true.
Like they didn't take him aside privately and say, "Listen, here's what's going on." Like
that's the worst part about it. It just publicly.
That's what I mean. Like it seems like he should have been in on the meeting between Mikey and his dad.
Yeah,
and Mikey and Pop, Tom Hagen should have been there, but I guess. Like he's saying, they don't want Tom Hagen knowing any of the criminal operation. But it seems like you at least could have given the guy a heads up so that he knew it going into the meeting.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they didn't tell Tom in advance. Puzo writes a bit more in the book about the scene, but that's not addressed.
Because I think Tom Hagen should be having some Zaza because he does not have enough respect at this point. So what do I look like? I need to wear Zaza cologne?
Mikey, I'd like to discuss this more, but excuse me for 1 minute. I'm going to put some cologne on, prepare for this meeting. He comes back in and says, "Oh, Tom, Tom, maybe I was wrong about you. Maybe, we're going to keep you on, you and your mistress."
Are you wearing perfume? It's cologne, not perfume, Mikey.
Mikey, why do I deserve such disrespect here today? It's like what Zaza said, remember?
So yeah,
that's what happens when you wear Zaza cologne. You start to take on his personality.
Yeah, eventually he possesses your entire body, and then he goes from host to host. He's like a malevolent spirit.
And the crazy thing is, anyone who ever wears Zaza cologne ends up getting shot in the back.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. After having their ear bit off, just a little dab behind your ear. You put
It's like garlic to ward off people that are coming to bite your ear
That's
off.
what the Zaza cologne should do. It should be. It should smell like it should make you like gags. Then you put it right behind your ear. So if someone goes to bite your ear off, they go, oh.
They start gagging.
It's like that. When you put like that bitter apple spray, so cats don't try to
Yeah.
eat something. That's what it's like.
And then when they gag and back away, you turn around and go, Zaza!
You've been Zaza for men. So yeah, poor Tom is out.
But what I was saying is how embarrassing for Tom. Not only is 3 things, he's out. 2, this is announced publicly in front of everyone. And then
Carlo finds out at the
that's the
same
third
time
thing.
Tom does.
Yeah, and Carlo gets a promotion. Carlo's pretty much taking over Tom's spot as his right-hand man.
Yeah.
What? What did he do to deserve this?
Well, I can almost understand. I can understand if Carlo is there, and they want Carlo to believe that he's on the inside, and so they're like, if they don't trust Carlo, and they're like, listen, we want to. We want to make him think he's trusted. We want to feel like he'll be trusted, or then he could say, "Okay, Tom's out, and now Carlo is my right hand man." But you think they would tell Tom that once because Carlo leaves the room, and then Tom's like, "Why am I out?" They don't tell him anything about what we're trying to trick Carlo into thinking he's.
Yeah, that's true.
Which means maybe they don't trust Tom.
Maybe in this whole transition, we know the capo regimes are complaining, and they're talking about having their own families. So it's a dicey period. You never know who's going to break away or make a power play.
I think I can imagine a scene between Mikey and he's like, Pop, what's bothering you? He's like, I was in the car with Tom and he thought Talia was behind everything. I'm taking this guy's advice. I don't know. I think I want to get rid of him.
Yeah, and he let Salazzo kidnap him after his Christmas shopping. He even had that what's the sled call, Alex? What's that?
A flexible flyer. Flexible flyer.
Flexible flyer he could have used to defend himself. He's out.
Well,
he's definitely not a wartime consigliere.
Nope. So yeah, that's what.
But Carlo gets promoted over you.
That's disrespectful.
And Tom Hagen's expression is great. He kind of looks around and
yeah, he's trying to keep a poker face.
So I will go back to the book later in our analysis, but I want to read this now since we're here.
Okay.
Pruzzo writes, let's see. Tom Hagen spoke up first. Mike, why are you cutting me out of the action? Michael seemed surprised.
I like that we make him sound like he's always like speaking into a cell phone in 1998. He's all like, I'm on the phone. Can you hear me?
Well, that's his voice when he goes to the hospital.
And it's the only way we can do impressions of him.
Because it's too hard to do any other way. Michael seemed surprised. You'll be my number one man in Vegas. Of course, Mikey's jaw is still all wired.
Oh yeah, well that's forever. That's gonna be
You'll be my number one man in Vegas. Wait, didn't he just say Carlo's going to be his?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
well, Carlo's going to be his right hand man. Tom's going to be his number one man in Vegas.
So which is better to be?
That's the show a smart manager is. Yes. You never let anyone know what else is going on. You're the only one who knows the hierarchy of who's in charge or anything like that.
And to add to that, and who would be a better consigliere than my own father? So even he's competing.
Wait, Michael, you saying I'm number one? Yeah. Who's the real number one here? Yeah. You promised me when I semi-retired I'd be the real number one.
Yeah, Pop, you're my consigliere.
You're my number one semi-retired consigliere.
You're my number one Pop.
Come on, Pop, what's wrong?
I never wanted this for you, having to juggle 3 number ones. That's too much math.
Michael seemed surprised.
Okay, you getting all emotional?
I was in between impressions.
Shifting gears.
Michael seemed surprised. You'll be my number one man in Vegas. We'll be legitimate all the way, and you're the legal man. What can be more important than that? Hagen smiled a little sadly.
Aww.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Rocco Lampone building a secret regime without my knowledge.
Whoa.
Isn't that crazy? I'm talking about you dealing direct with Al Neri, rather than through me or a capo regime. Unless, of course, you don't know what Lampone's doing. So it's a whole side thing going on here.
That's right in the book. Wait, so is he saying that in the way you read it made it sound like he was almost like pushing back on,
I think he is,
on Mikey and saying, oh, well, unless you don't know what's going on. Or is he really saying, unless you don't know what's going on? Like,
no, I think it's the first. That's my guess. Michael said softly, how did you find out about Lampone's regime? Hagen shrugged. Don't worry, there's no leak. Nobody else knows, but in my position, I can see what's happening. You gave Lampone his own living. You gave him a lot of freedom.
He drove your car.
You gave him...
He might not even be in the car.
You gave him samples of Zaza for men. So he needs people. So Lampone needs people to help him in his little empire, but everybody he recruits has to be reported to me.
He's like the HR guy.
Yeah. And I notice everybody he puts on the payroll is a little too good for that particular job. Is getting a little more money than that particular exercise is worth. You picked the right man when you picked Lampone, by the way. He's operating perfectly. Michael grimaced. Not so damn perfect, if you noticed. Anyway, the Don picked Lampone.
So he said the Don?
Yeah. He said it was Don. It was the Don. You remember in an earlier minute that Don noticed, he made a comment about Rocco being up and coming.
Oh yeah.
So even the Don noticed it. The part I really wanted to get to in this is when Michael went on, announced that Tom Hagen was out. Sorry, in the book it's a little out of different order. Tom Hagen is no longer the consigliere. He's going to be our lawyer in Vegas in about 2 months. He'll move out there permanently with his family, strictly as a lawyer. Nobody goes to him with any other business as of now, this minute. So he's truly out. He's a lawyer, and that's all. No reflection on Tom. That's the way I want it. Besides, if I ever need any advice, who's a better counselor than my father? They all laughed.
Oh,
which is very different than in the book, or than in the movie. But they had gotten the message despite the joke. Tom Hagen was out. He no longer held any power. When I originally saw the movie and watched it again, I thought it would have been a good move for Tom because the goal is to go legit.
Yeah.
And so he's going to have plenty of work to do in that transition. And as you and I talked about, remember, we thought he was pigeonholed in a certain phase of a crime family's
He's a transition guy.
But Mikey, I thought, seemed to trust him, but I guess not. He's truly out. The real business is the family underground business, but that doesn't really jibe.
Well, I mean, it does. I guess.
Why is Tom so upset? That's my question.
Well, in the movie, I could see why he's upset because he's finding out about it in front of everyone. So, like, clearly, if you're finding out about it with the guy who they think is a traitor and the guy who drives the car, and then you're not in the loop. And so, I don't know. Like you said, it seems like disrespectful. And
Tom, we're also lowering your salary by $30,000.
Well, of course. I mean, if he's not, you're not going to stay in that consigliere house. You're going to go to the lawyer house, which is a little smaller.
We can no longer give you the wartime consigliere stipend that we've been getting.
You give me all your discount coupons back for all your at the rub joints.
By the way, you'll no longer have a driver. You'll have to get your own car. It's like they're trying to get him to choose the lead.
Yeah, that's what it seems. That's what it kind of feels like.
Yeah,
like they have him working in Las Vegas at like have you been arrested in a drunk driving? Like just doing like low level.
I was going to say as a blackjack dealer, he's good with numbers. No, I'm. My advice to you is that you should stay when you have 17 or higher.
No, when you'd be giving all bad advice. Like, I don't know. I don't think you should hit. It's too risky. Yeah. Like we should just push. Just get the insurance. Get the insurance every time. He just wants to get out as minimal as possible.
Oh, I forgot too. He's not a blackjack consigliere.
He's a war consigliere. So
interesting stuff.
When Mikey, it seems like we both agree that when he says, Carlo, you're going to be my right-hand man.
That's when they all should laugh. But Mikey's like, shh, come on, guys.
I'm serious. Stop busting balls. What on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being completely sincere and 10 being that he's totally lying?
Mikey?
Yeah. Like, how much does he trust him at this point?
I don't think he trusts him.
I mean, he still like keeps him there. They don't just kill him or like make him disappear or like.
That's true. You would.
I mean, how do they know he's not still?
But they don't want Barzini to know that they were fooled. And that's why, like, if they killed Carlo now, Barzini would be tipped off that, they're on.
You mean to talk.
I meant Barzini, damn it.
Okay. But they're still having like in on the meeting.
I don't know how he didn't really share that much. He just shared enough. He said, Mikey, he said, pretty soon all of your problems will be solved. All your questions will be answered.
Right. And so theoretically, he would know that they're moving out to Las Vegas. And maybe that's something they want Barzini to know because then Barzini's like, if they're leaving town, then that's perfect because then I can take over New York.
Yeah.
If they're pulling up stakes, that's all the better for me.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what he wants to let get out.
So maybe he is purposely having Carlo there, hoping that it does feed back to tell you.
Well, it's interesting too because in the book in the movie, do you remember when Carlo gets the news? He seems pretty happy, and then at the end of this minute, the Don congratulates him. He says, "Oh, Carlo,"
pats his cheeks.
Yeah, he says, "I'm so happy for this.
Happy for you, Carlo."
The Don is the best at greetings.
Yeah, it makes sense. Obviously, family and friendship is very important to him. So, like, polite man, you would have to know that.
Well, I did it before. I feel like I got to do it again.
Carlo, so happy for you. Carlo, what do you think of your promotion?
So, for those of you who could not tell, Andrew, he got up out of his chair and then came over and grabbed my cheeks.
What do you call that? It was like a double cheek?
I don't know, jowl grab? Jowl? So I was laughing too much, so you couldn't really get a good grip on it. If my face was loose, it would have been better, but oh well. But anyway.
So in the book, Carlo is also very happy. But at the very end of this minute in the book, let's see where it goes. Here it is. Puzo writes, the meeting's over in the book. Carlo Rizzi lingered, hoping that the time had come when he finally would be treated as one of the family. But he quickly saw that Michael was not of that mind. He left the Don, Tom Hagen and Michael alone in the corner library room. Albert Neary ushered him out. Albert Neary.
I never knew his first name was Albert.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, I guess it could have been like Alphonse.
I figured it was something more like Italian sounding.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Albert Neary.
Alfredo.
Yeah, Alfredo. Ushered him out of the house, and Carlo noticed that Neary stood in the doorway. Oh, classic Neary move. Yeah. Stood in the doorway, watching him walk across the floodlit mall. So Carlo does... In the book, he has some doubts about whether he really is in or not.
Yeah. Interesting. It's funny because on one hand, we're like, I can't believe they're even letting him in the room. And he's like, I'm clearly not part of the family. So he's in that no man's land of everyone suspects him.
Carlo, I'm going to make you my number one right-hand man, but you just can't attend any of our meetings.
You can't attend the meetings because it's like the same reason the president and the vice president can't be together. It's too dangerous.
Oh, so Mikey, you're telling me I'm as important as a vice president? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. There you go. You're my vice president.
Oh, okay.
Look at it that way.
While I'm out in the hall, you want me to clean it up?
I want you to bring ties in the center. Speaking of which, has everyone forgotten that poor Fredo is out in Vegas learning the casino business? Shouldn't he be the right-hand man of Fredo?
He's the other.
They get out there like, oh my God, I totally forgot about Fredo.
when they get out there. Hey, Mikey, so I'm going to be your right-hand man out here. And that's why you sent me here, right, Mikey?
That awkward meeting where all the right-hand men show up at the same time.
Yeah.
Poor Fredo.
Yeah.
So the last thing I had was that when the meeting is adjourned, I think it's very like Clemenza immediately gets up, shakes Mikey's hand and leaves, shakes the Don's hand. And
Did Clemenza shake Mikey's hand?
I think he did.
Oh, okay. I didn't think he did.
Oh, I don't know.
I thought he got up and turned around and just started walking and shook the Godfather's hand.
Oh, shook the Don's hand. Oh,
yeah.
So maybe that's another sign of if he didn't shake his hand.
Yeah, and then Tessio,
Tessio,
the smart one.
he doesn't get up at first.
Yeah.
And then he gets up and he starts to walk away without saying anything. And then he leans back to Mikey and says, so is this something like, oh, you're okay, or it's okay, or?
Yeah, I couldn't catch what he said.
Just like
and he does shake
something.
his hand.
Yeah, let me look in the script. Maybe he does. He does shake his hand, but he shakes it lefty.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And Mikey like looks at him for a second, like he's like, are you really going to shake my hand lefty?
Oh, is that a Sicilian message?
Oh, I don't know. And you know what he's holding in his right hand? His hat. Oh, you know how important it is to give. It seems to me if I was him, I'd put my hat in the left hand and shake your boss's hand with your right hand. But
well,
he's got his priorities.
I think that is a fish Sicilian message.
Oh, you think it's a sign of disrespect?
Yeah, it means I have no place to hang my hat because of you.
Yeah.
And therefore I have to keep it in my
carry my hat
hand,
around
in my good hand.
Where my children come and play with their toys. Let me see in the script if it says what
I didn't
Tessio
catch
says.
Mikey's reaction.
Tessio gets up and then he extends his left hand, and it just seems like Mikey takes a second to he just like looks at him for a second, and then he reaches up with his right hand to shake his left hand.
That's awkward when you have opposite hands.
Yeah. But I don't know if maybe it was a kind of like a Godfather-y thing where he's putting his hand in his
That's what it looked like to me. He's sort of holding his hand.
Yeah.
Like a little baby.
Yeah.
Like a little kid.
Could you demonstrate what you mean? Thank you, Papa. I'm happy for you, Carlo. Oh, so here's a little bit of deleted dialogue from the script.
Oh, really?
Hold on, if you look up.
Yeah, I've got some stuff from
they
the
don't
book
have
too.
They don't list Tessio's line as a thing, so it must have just been like improvised on the set.
Yeah.
So after Carlo leaves, Hagen says, "Michael, why are you cutting me out of the action?" And Michael says, "We're going to be legitimate all the way, Tom. We're going to be legitimate all the way, Tom. You're the legal man. What's more important than that?"
From the book.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Rocco Lampone building a secret regime.
Oh, so it was all in there.
Now, why doesn't he report directly to you instead of through me or the capo regimes? How'd you find out? Rocco's men are a little too good at their jobs. I mean, they're getting more than their money's worth. And then Don says, "I told you this wouldn't escape his eye." So the Don did have a little bit of faith in the Don, saying that Tom's going to notice.
Yeah, definitely.
Which also might be even more sign of disrespect on Mikey's part, is that clearly the Don was like, Tom's going to notice Rocco's building this secret regime, and he's just like, "Oh, don't worry, he won't. That guy's so dumb, he'll never notice that." Like he
Did you think I wouldn't notice, Mikey?
Yeah, I'll handle Tom. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. So I have a few more things from the book.
I'll handle Luca. Wait, wasn't there something like that where somebody says like, "Oh, don't worry"?
Solozzo says that.
Oh, because knowing that's Dad. Because he says no one's gonna be able to call off Luca Frazzi, and then he says, "Oh, don't worry about it. I'll worry."
Because Tom says that to Solozzo.
Yeah. So that's a similar thing where, anyway.
Yeah.
Any more from the book?
Yeah, there's a little bit more dialogue in the book, which is pretty interesting. So this is kind of at the beginning of the minute where Tessio is still making a plea.
Yeah.
He's still kind of mad. Puzo writes, Tessio spoke up. Bonnie, if Mo Green wanted to talk to your father,
Like that.
why not let him? The Don could always persuade anybody. There was never anyone who could stand up to his reasonableness.
Oh, man.
The Don answered this directly.
I've retired. Michael would lose respect if I interfered. And besides, that's a man I'd rather not talk to.
Oh, like that.
Well, this is interesting. Tessio remembered the stories he'd heard about Mo Green slapping Freddie Corleone around one night in the Vegas hotel. He began to smell a rat. He leaned back. Mo Green was a dead man, he thought. The Corleone family did not wish to persuade him.
Oh,
So
nice.
at that moment, Tessio knows that they're already
Green's-
planning. And Mo Green technically was not at the meeting of the 5 families. So
He wasn't?
Don would still be keeping his word.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Remember, he's-
I feel like the
although-
Mo Green one, it wasn't an act of like the killing Tattaglia and Barzini and Cuneo.
was all business.
That was then Stracci. That was all. But I feel like Mo Green was just as a last, like, oh, and you know what? You too.
Yeah. I think Mikey was so smart. He did it way in advance, knowing that whatever 3-4 years later, 5 years later,
10 years from now.
when he's having that conversation with Hyman Roth will get really mad. It's like, that man had vision. I didn't ask who killed him. Yeah, that was me. You didn't ask, but I'm going to tell you.
So it's probably good that Hyman Roth wasn't at the meeting.
Yeah.
Or at least as far as we know, he probably sided with your
Yeah.
father.
You know, we never see who kills Mo Green. Maybe it was Fredo.
No.
Maybe it wasn't even in Michael's plan. It was just coincidence. It was on the same day, and Freddie was so mad, like one of those wimps who gets a gun and kills all the
right.
bullies.
Yeah. We'll have to look. We'll have to see if we can make out the shape.
Maybe in his glasses.
Fredo's can't shoot anybody.
I mean, he made it in the book. He made it,
He's so sweet.
but he does want respect.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can just see him dropping the gun, bobbling the gun, and it dropping all the way down the stairs. That like Clemenza just spent 20 minutes huffing and puffing to get up the stairs.
shooting him in the butt and everything.
In the butt. Anyway,
Well, you know, if Fredo wants respect. That's all he wants, and so
You
it
know
kind of
what he
makes
needs?
sense. Either that or to shoot someone. That's how you get respect in this world. So let's see a couple more things from the book.
Well,
You got
just one
something?
last note when you said that. Oh, he's like, I don't want to meet with that Mo Green guy. Oh man, can you imagine if? And I was thinking, what 3 characters that aren't in a scene together would you want to see in a scene together?
Wow! In one
In one
big
scene, all 3 characters.
Walt, Mo Green, and Don Corleone.
I was going to say Don Corleone, Mo Green, and Hyman Roth.
Oh yeah, yeah. I would love to see Walt and Mo Green getting into a shouting match because they're both like, pretty good. Like,
And then Tom's there trying to calm them down. It's not personal. Get the hell out of here. Stand him up.
I'm German Irish, right? They're all just shouting their lines at each other. Check them out. You think your credit is Mo Green? You think your credit's good enough to buy me out? Your production company is through. Your leading man, he just moved from marijuana to heroin.
So what else is saying in that book of yours?
Puzo writes, Carlo Rizzi spoke up. Is the Corleone family going to stop operating in New York altogether?
What about the candy store? What about rags?
What about the drapes? I got money in the safe behind the drape. Oh, you could
I
take.
just bought out the new cutlery and dishes.
I just ordered a whole shipment of Bubblicious gum.
I just proposed to my girlfriend.
Yeah, you could take Sally Rags with you. Don't worry about it.
So what do you think? How do you think Michael responds to that?
What was the
Question Carlo asks, is the Corleone family going to stop operating in New York altogether?
No, we'll maintain a stake in the Capri and the Galleria, but the Lakeville Road boys will be taking over the candy store.
Yeah.
What does he say?
We'll bring in Eddie and Dino to get a piece of the action from the bookmakers. Everyone just transfers
Yeah.
their operations. Michael nodded. We're selling the olive oil business. Everything we can, we turn over to Tessio and Clemenza.
Oh. There you go.
So I guess that's it. So Tessio and Clemenza.
He's just
are
like they're just cashing out.
I guess maybe, yeah. It wasn't clear to us last week when we talked about how the finances work with that. Let's see if there's anything else. The meeting was over. Oh, this is interesting too. The meeting was over. The big news was that, okay, this is sort of a summary. The big news was that Clemenza and Tessio would be permitted to form their own families.
This is like someone's reading the minutes.
Yeah.
So in closing,
Yeah. These are the consigliere notes. If you ever have to write a book report, Hagen. What do I got to spell it out for you? That's why you're out. I always need to write a summary after the meeting because you can't figure it out. It was Barzino.
You mean to tell you?
You just switch it. Whatever I say, you switch it.
The big news was that Clemenza and Tessia would be...
No, I thought in the middle of while the Don's yelling at him, he says, like, can you think that you didn't even know that Pazzini was behind everything? He's like, you mean to tell you?
He still doesn't get...
That's what I'm talking about, Tom.
And then Carlo's like, you know about that?
Like, shut up, Carlo. Just pretend you didn't hear that.
Okay. The big news was that Clemenza, I feel like Groucho Marx rereading the contract. The big news was that Clemenza and Tessia would be permitted to form their own families from their regimes. Tessia would have his gambling and docks in Brooklyn.
Okay.
Clemenza, the gambling in Manhattan, and the family contacts in the racing tracks of Long Island. Interesting.
So does that mean...
insight.
So...
I guess the Corleones are sort of selling off those territories in that business.
But like, who gets like? What does that mean about like all the judges and senators and stuff?
I don't know.
I thought that was their
Does he
main. That was
maintain
their.
that?
That was the thing that got them all into this mess. Was their access to judges, and everyone had to draw water from the well.
Yeah, maybe he maintains the political protection. Because the Corleone family is still going to be very powerful, but just out in the West.
But I don't think they do, because the next time we see him dealing with the politician, which is Senator Geary, and Senator Geary's all but laughing in his face at him. So I don't know. I think the Corleones are. I think they're through. I think.
But Frankie Five Angels still has to ask permission from Mikey to start
do
battling
stuff
with the Rosado brothers. So the Corleones still have, and it's still the Corleone family. Remember, Mikey in GF2 says you're going to run, the family is still Corleone. You're going to run it like a Corleone.
No, I know, but that's because his 5-year plan isn't working. So, but according to this, he's like, okay, so Tessio gets the gambling in this, and Clemenza gets this, but we don't know what happens to the judges. Is it maybe once Don steps down, they're just like, hey, we don't have any relationship with the...
Yeah, maybe you all are kind of on your own with that, maybe.
Because they made it sound like once the Don was out, that the political protection would run for cover.
Yeah, that's right. So, he was the one. Because if he had died, then they would have lost all that political protection.
Yeah, then he would not be... So who knows Who knows... maybe that's also why the reason they also want to go legit, because they're like, once the Don dies, then... like they have to get as legitimate as they can before he dies, because they won't have his personal charisma anymore. To
well, Mikey in this minute does say things could get a little rough. Doesn't he say that?
Yeah. With some things they're planning out west.
So Mikey is dividing up I guess Mikey and Don Corleone are dividing up all their New York interest. Is sort of a foreshadowing of Hyman Roth? Digging up Cuba, right? So you all can share.
Yeah. You should have had like a New York cheesecake or some other like cannoli. You should have a box of cannoli, handing them out to everyone.
How long will this take? Maybe about 6 months. He's been trying to make this move for 6 months for 20 years. So all like Hyman Roth comparisons, right?
Yeah, well, that is funny, because much like the same way Hyman Roth was always like, "Oh, I'm gonna have a heart attack." That Michael going legit is his heart attack. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna be legitimate in 5 years from now."
Exactly, it's a pipe dream.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's funny. Awesome. It's just like Don thought it would be Senator Corleone. Like,
when Michael tells them it's going to be about 6 months, and I never lie. I never lie about how long it takes me to go legitimate.
So I wonder if when they all meet up in heaven, if Hyman Roth was like, I can't believe it. I thought for sure a heart attack would do me in, killed by a gun. Oh, he's all like upset.
Killed by a gun in an airport.
Didn't he say something? All these people running around with guns. Does he say something like that?
People being stupid with guns.
Yeah, people being stupid with guns, and that's what he wants to do.
Yeah, that's funny.
So I guess the Don really does have the best death. Although Hyman Roth does live to be an old man, so it's not like we don't know what his personal. We don't know what his like inner life was like. We know
he
Mikey
was broken in the end. Remember, Roth is.
Well, it's just because he couldn't get a ballot. He just got off a plane. I mean, I don't know.
You've been in economy
flew
lately?
for Israel. Yeah, exactly. I'm sure it was. And this is back in like 1962 or whatever.
You think economy was rougher in 62 than this today?
No, I'm just saying it would have taken longer because the planes aren't as fast. So like getting from Israel to the United States would probably take longer than it did back then.
They didn't have global entry, but I didn't have global entry back then. I had to wait with everyone.
Although, like you said,
and I didn't ask for priority boarding.
He's pretty wealthy, so you think he would have a private plane do it. Maybe you can't.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, obviously you can fly across the private plane because Lindbergh did it, so I'm sure if someone else could do it.
Yeah.
Hyman Roth by himself.
With the goggles and the scarf and everything. I'm flying over Cuba. I already see it divided up. Literally, the island has big markers on it for dividing it up.
So, enjoy.
No, he sky writes enjoy in the sky.
Everyone looks up. Oh.
He's like a driver. He's like flying a crop duster to Israel. That's what I love about America: baseball and crop dusting.
Crop duster supplied by your father.
Yeah, well, that's what he also does. He's in a crop duster because he has to go back to smuggling molasses out of Canada.
All right, let's rate this minute.
Rate it.
I think I know what I'm going to say.
Mikey. It starts with Carlo. Little Tom action. Why am I out? All right, I got mine.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
That only happens when we get
Uno,
two
due,
vibes.
tre,
Yes, so.
quattro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom, why am I out? That whole thing.
Yeah. And the Don is in it, and
The Don is in it. I think he only has like one line. You look,
but it's a
Tom,
great
come on.
reaction too. He's like, Tom, come here.
That's true, and he's certainly there in spirit. So, and plus you got some Tessio. The gang's all there.
Yeah.
So, all right, I guess that'll wrap up minute 100. Minute Centani.
39.
Yeah, I was gonna struggle with it for a
sorry.
39. Anyway, so
Alex, do you want to? Speaking of Mikey transitioning out west, do you want to talk about our Godfather Minute release transition plan?
yes,
Big news.
The big news is that we're making a transition, and Andy's out.
What? That's not. Why am I out?
Sorry. If who was a better advisor than Ian from last week? No. So here's the plan. Next week, if you're listening to this in the regular podcast feed, there will not be an episode next week.
What?
Skipping a week.
Wow. Why am I learning about this right now?
Well, if you are one of our Patreon supporters, which you can do by going to godfatherminute.com/support, you will still get your episode next week normal.
That's right. Business as usual. No change.
Business as usual. So Patreons will be getting the episodes from here forward a week ahead of time from the regular podcast feed.
That's right.
So if you absolutely can't wait, make sure you become a Patreon by going to starwarsminute.com/support. Or if let's just say you can't afford that. It's a lot of money in them megapixels. We are now going to start releasing the YouTube edition on Sunday. So basically, where we used to get the podcast, it will now be on YouTube.
Yes.
So you can listen to it for free on Sunday on YouTube, or you can wait a week and listen to it in the podcast feed. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So on every Saturday, we're going to release the bonus episode for our supporters. Thank you all for your help. The following day, a day later on Sunday, the regular episode will be for free on YouTube. And then a week later, probably on Sunday, that episode will be for free on
the regular
podcast outlets.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
sorry if this is complicated. We'll also post it just to let people know.
basically, for most of you, it'll just mean that you are just going to have to wait 2 weeks for the next episode. And after that, you won't notice any difference.
You won't notice any difference. And we're still going to be releasing episodes every week. That's not changing. Yeah.
And but if you are a hardcore fan, you can either become a Patreon supporter or you can go to the YouTube page. So
and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, and the new episode will get sent to you every week.
Yeah, exactly. So
Until next time.
Until next time.
Why am I out,
Mikey?